The hard truth for Joe Biden, he has fallen 22 points. Look at the minus number on the far right category is as important as the above water right next to it. So Biden is down 22 since January 28th. Look at Mike Bloomberg, up 15 in this category, this subsection of the American electorate, this vital subsection of the Democratic Party electorate. Jason, for viewers who haven't heard your theory tinged with your reporting, firsthand reporting on Bloomberg, let us hear it.
So there's a couple things here, Brian. This is a horrible indictment of the Democratic field. It really, really is. For Mike Bloomberg, with his terrible history on race, there's a new viral video popping out from a speech he gave at the Aspen Institute where he's talking about stop and frisk, and I send a bunch of cops into minority neighborhoods because they commit the most crime. The fact that African Americans, half of them literally, have left Joe Biden and begun to support Mike Bloomberg is indicative of the fact that none of the rest of the Democrats have convinced him that they can beat Trump. And African-American voters are primarily focused with getting Donald Trump out of office. And they will make a deal with the devil if they have to, if that's what it requires to get Trump removed. And I think that Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and Mayor Pete have to reckon with the fact that they have not sold black people on their ability to do the most important thing, which is beating Donald Trump.
You have said, and at the risk of paraphrasing you, it doesn't mean this voting bloc is as nakedly transactional as it may appear to people. Right. It doesn't mean they are at all superficial regarding candidate selection. Far from it. It just means that African-American voters, as a subset, feel the existential threat perhaps more than other subsections of the Democratic Party, correct?
Brian, this is a life and death election for black voters. I cannot impress upon people enough, from Texas to Arizona to Memphis, Tennessee, to Atlanta, Georgia, to Charlotte. The number one thing that when you talk to black voters is, can we get Trump out of office? This is not just because we don't think he's a nice guy. This is because he has encouraged white nationalists. This is because he has had white nationalists in his administration. This is because he's made it clear that he will try to block any and other brown people from coming into this country. And so to the degree that you've got Democratic candidates who want to argue back and forth about these high-level grad school philosophical ideas, they're talking over the heads of black voters who are primarily concerned about who can get rid of this guy. And that's the main issue. And here's the thing. Again, Mike Bloomberg's got the money. Mike Bloomberg has the ability to push his message one way or another. Black voters will hold their nose and vote for him if they think he can win, which means anybody else could potentially step into this situation. But let's not be naive. This isn't about love. This is about necessity.
And can you tell me how a Democratic Party where Bernie leads tonight, right now, is ever going to drive that car and get all the way around to the other side of town and support a Mike Bloomberg professional billionaire?
I think they can get around to the other side of the town once we start getting to the side of town where other people live. Look, we're dealing with the first two states that have 96 and 98% white voters. It doesn't count. It's like anybody who got into the Baseball Hall of Fame before Jackie Robinson came in. You can't consider either of these first two primaries or caucuses to be particularly valid. Once we get to Nevada, where you have a Latino population, 6% Asian Americans are going to be caucusing, 13% African Americans. Then you get to South Carolina. That is the real test as to where these Democratic candidates are. Any of these things that are happening beforehand are just window dressing. And that is why it's really key. Brian, when you pointed out in the poll, it's not just that Bloomberg has jumped to 22%. It's that black voters basically leapfrogged Bernie Sanders. Black voters said we would rather vote for the king of stop and frisk and gentrification than for Bernie's socialist revolution. That says something about what his message does and does not do for the most important constituency for the Democratic Party.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.